Every last one of us is prone to making mistakes. It's a normal constituent of our mortal human lives. No one is perfect. All of these so-called mistakes have consequences of varying degrees, some being nearly negligent and easily forgettable, plus not as embarrassing, while others have monumental effects that could potentially affect the lives of thousands of people. In certain instances, these mistakes can cost obscene amounts of money to all of those involved, like the ones we'll be discussing today. Let's take a look into the 10 most expensive mistakes in all of history. But before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification. 10. James Howell threw away 7,500 bitcoins in 2009. We start off this list very regretfully indeed. No one fathomed the meteoric rise of cryptocurrency, especially in more recent years since 2009. The subject of our list, James Howell, was not one of the few blessed with the foresight. During a time when Bitcoin was not worth much, he somehow acquired 7,500 Bitcoins. On a certain day, he accidentally spilled coffee onto his computer. However, he miraculously managed to salvage it enough to get all the crucial information he thought he needed off of his hard drive and sold the rest of the computer parts. For quite a while, the hard drive had been sitting in his drawer gathering dust until forgetfully, he threw it out while moving. When Bitcoin started becoming the new hype and majestically took off, he discovered his mistake. He went as far as to search for the forgotten hard drive in the city dump. Unfortunately for him, the odds seemed to not be in his favor, and the Newport City Council banned him from going through with his search as concerns had been raised about the negative environmental impact of him unknowingly disturbing toxic waste. In December of 2017, Bitcoin truly was at its height of glory. It skyrocketed and hit $19,783. This meant that Howell essentially threw away an easy $148 million. 9. Walkie-talkie building can melt cars. Yeah, I had to do a double take too. Kinda cool though, isn't it? This building can actually melt your car. This building had to place out some extra funds for sun protection after complaints that it had melted a person's Jaguar that was parked across the road. Martin Lindsay was walking to his car one day when he saw a photographer taking pictures of his car. His rearview mirror and a part of the body had dented under the warmth generated by the reflection off the side of the building. The curators of the building had to cough up a 946-pound fee to be paid to Lindsay in damages. In addition to that, they also had to put in place a brief fix on the building to stop more damage to other people's property from being done temporarily. That is, until they could think of a more permanent solution to put in place. 8. Superman's mustache problem. This has to be the funniest and by far the most tedious placement on the list. Plus, it's one of our favorite superheroes. After filming Justice League, Warner Brothers realized that a couple of scenes needed to be added. However, Henry Cavill had already begun shooting for a different film, Mission Impossible: Fallout. This scheduling conundrum quickly became a most annoying situation that no one was fond of. Cavill's role in his other movie required him to grow a mustache. Paramount didn't want him to shave to reshoot his scenes as Superman. However, Warner Brothers begged them to let him shave it. Coordinating the reshoots cost around $25 million, and on top of that, the studio had to pay a visual effects crew to remove Superman's mustache in those scenes. 7. $39 for a plane ticket. This is one mistake I wish I could have been a part of. Everyone would certainly agree with me that $39 is an excellent price to fly from Los Angeles to San Diego, so travelers were ecstatic to get tickets at that low of a price. This happened to the chagrin of Alitalia, the airline company that offered this price to travelers by accident. However, it seemed too good to be true, and the price was actually an accidental typo, and originally the tickets were supposed to cost $3,900. By absolute chance, their website put the tickets on sale, but not before forgetting a few zeros. Approximately 2,000 people got their tickets before the company could fix the price. But the company did the right thing, and they honored the low-price tickets, which cost them about $7 million. 6. The Titanic sinking due to hitting an iceberg. The most infamous spot on our list is unquestionably that of the Titanic. In 1912, the Titanic was the biggest ship in history. Unfortunately, the Titanic hit an iceberg within the middle of the Atlantic and disproved its nickname of the Unsinkable on its very first voyage. Despite being warned of the possible danger, the crew still wanted to check out the ship. The boat scraped its right side along an enormous glacier, causing the vessel to require on water and sink on April 15, 1912. The monetary loss was approximately $7.5 million. Sadly, over 1,500 people died. 5. A swaying bridge. This one definitely raises my hair and puts me on edge. Bridges and swaying shouldn't be words utilized in the same sentence ever. Construction was completed on an 18.2 million pound bridge connecting either side of the River Thames on June 10, 2000. The bridge closed 3 days later because of its swaying. Around 160,000 people crossed the overcrossing during the weekend it opened, and plenty of people were alarmed by the rapid movement of the fixture. The bridge's popularity was what initially caused the issue due to too many folks stepping in unison along the trail. The bridge immediately closed following the concerns, however, extra money had to be raised to correct the matter. It took about 2 years for the bridge to be relaunched again, albeit fully functioning this time around. Number 4. A regretful sellout for Ronald Wayne. This particular one will probably irk plenty of individuals thanks to the sheer impatience and foolishness of this man. Steve Jobs may be a well-known name, and most of the people are acquainted with Steve Wozniak, but many are unacquainted with Apple's third founder, Ronald Wayne. Wayne drew Apple's logo and served as an intermediary between the two innovative Steves. Jobs' personality clashed with Wayne, which eventually prompted him to sell his 10% stake in the company for $800 in 1976. This decision prevented him from becoming a multi-billionaire. Apple became worth over $1 trillion last month. Despite missing out on large earnings, Wayne said he has no regrets in leaving the corporation. 3. A missing Oxford comma costs OAKHURST Dairy $5 million. This one will teach you to ditch your usual routine of slang and stick with proper punctuated language while virtually communicating. Quite possibly the foremost hotly debated punctuation marks in literary circles, the Oxford comma has its share of fans, detractors, and folks who don't care either way. It separates the penultimate and final items in a list and is typically considered optional. For example, the comma after detractors within the previous sentence is an Oxford comma. It has to be a particularly sore subject for the OAKHURST Dairy shipping department. An overtime dispute between the corporate and its drivers hinged on the shortage of one comma. Lawyers representing the drivers argued that a sentence in every contract the workers all signed needed the Oxford comma to clarify that overtime pay was forfeited in a very specific situation. That comma would have sunk our ship, the driver's attorney was reported to have said. The corporation settled the lawsuit by paying the drivers a complete $5 million. That's one expensive comma. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on future videos. 2. Looking at this picture, you can immediately tell that it's a remnant of some sort, maybe a ship, part of a yacht, or the hull of a boat. It goes without saying that the object is being hauled out of the water with the help of a crane of some sort. The object seems to be badly rusting and clearly deteriorating, which could indicate that it has been underwater for quite some time.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
1. New Mexico actually lost control of a controlled fire. This one will rightly enrage you, and it's been awarded the top spot within this list because of the sheer foolishness and irresponsibility of all those involved. Prescribed fires are literally needed for the preservation of the wilderness. Old trees accumulate an excess of fossils, which makes them more flammable and dangerous. By burning targeted zones, experts can lower the prospect of a fire spreading throughout the complete area. Within this Cerro Grande, an American state, workers lost control of a controlled fire in May 2000. Gusts of wind quickly spread the flames across the wilderness, and also the fire raged for a month before it absolutely was extinguished. This cost them around $1 billion in property damages. Thankfully, no humans died as a result of the fires. And that concludes our list of 10 of the most expensive mistakes in all of history. Let us know in the comments section below which mistake you found the most surprising. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon.